Hi, everybody out there in the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram land. This is your boy Hogzwars, and this is Bros, Brews, and Botches. And we have a little working title for this at the moment. It's gonna be the Hangover. Hope it works. If not, you can always go in the comments and give us another one. Right now it's me, your boy Hogzwars, and I like to pass it on to the other members of my lovely bros. I guess we'll start with
What's
you.
up, everybody? It's your boy Yellaboi here, somewhere where you can't afford, drinking something that you can't get, as always, here with Bros, Brews, and Botches for this new title, The Hangover. But also on here, I'll pass it to our other brother.
Oh, you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's over here, boy, in the mix. You know what they say, a little bit holler and a little bit hood, ain't it? Wow. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. The bros, we got into some stuff on SummerSlam weekend, didn't we? Yins really know what it was? Because I don't remember nothing. I had drank too much, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, but before we get started, you guys, with this new, like I said, we're trying something new out. Before we get started, as always, you guys, make sure you remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you like what you see here with Bros, Brews, and Botches, click that bell so that you know that when we're coming up with notifications. But yeah, so SummerSlam weekend, it was a blur. It definitely was a blur. But to kind of set up the format here, you guys, so this show is essentially what's happened in this previous week, since we didn't get to talk to the people, you people, about last weekend. So we wanted to get a chance to talk about SummerSlam and some of the other things that's going on this week. So with SummerSlam, I guess I'll throw out the question for you guys. What did you think about the whole overall setup of SummerSlam being at Nissan Stadium? Do you have anything that y'all, pointed out to y'all as far as that venue?
Man, the way that they had the where the entrance ramp was, the way they had it cut off to where you had to go literally all the way around to get to a certain part. That's garbage, man. They could have opened up some of those fences that led towards the upper decks, because we sat on the floor level, or the field level, if you will. The boys did. And we had to go all the way around to get to our seats, and then they were like, y'all can't come up through here. You have to go all the way around. I was like, really? Like, gee, thanks. And then, other than that, man, it was laid out about like I thought it would be, although I did see how deceptive they can be with some of their camera work, because there was a section there that there was nobody in, and they did a tremendous job of making it not seem like they were empty seats. So I kudos to them on that.
Yeah,
they made that. I know part of my problem was some of the things weren't set up very well, and they weren't explaining where to go, how to get this, that, and the other. And then if you're on the floor level, as we were, unless you were in the VIP in the middle, they almost act like everybody else didn't matter. So they didn't set up things on the floor for those people to get any goddamn thing. You had to dang near go back up the darn steps all the way up to the first floor just to get food or drinks. She damn near couldn't get a beer because it was all the way on the other end of the goddamn spot. So it's like, I get it. Y'all were trying to fill up all these seats, but you could have made sure everybody could have got something too, goddamn it. But that's the part I thought sucked a lot, But yeah,
Yeah, baby. But you did get that one guy pop off though, and brought you one in a little tote, and you just got him a beer there.
Right.
Then you ended up being then you ended up being the supply chain manager for everybody behind you, trying to get them hooked up, dude. What's up?
Middleman all of a sudden, all the little people. Can you help me? I can't reach over there.
That's what you get for being tall, brother.
Yeah, right. Like, great, my arms are long, so let me help you, little people, get over here. So y'all can drink some Bud Light seltzer.
Being the liaison. I mean, overall for me, guys, I enjoyed the venue. Like over here, boy said, those camera tricks, because I think they said the ending number was 48,000 and something in the stadium. And the fact of the matter that one whole side was not filled with people whatsoever.
Right.
And then when you look at the promo packages that WWE has done on their television, they don't show that side whatsoever. It just looks like it's completely full in there. I mean, I did enjoy the spot where we were at as far as the ramp, because old Trips gave those old school SummerSlam vibes with the long, the long entrance ramp to the ring. However, again, when we were at the venue, over here, boy had he pointed out the fact that if you're not as of a certain height, you won't be able to see everything in the ring because people were standing in the chairs and everything. And if you're going to watch the show from a Tron, you might as well watch it at home anyway. If you're watching it from the Tron, it doesn't make sense to be up there. So they need to do something about that, unless they have like stadium seating at the front or something like that, elevated seating so that people can see. It's kind of hard. But I mean, that's just any wrestling show anyway. Just I guess security just needs to get folks to get from standing in their chairs and sit down, except when it's conclusion of the match. So
I mean, literally, we were sitting close enough to the entrance ramp to where we could have thrown something and hit a wrestler. But having said that, we were also so many rows back that I had to watch everything happening on the Tron because, like Yellaboi was saying, people were standing on the chairs, and these were plastic folding chairs, man. So like, I would have never stood on that because I know I don't have that dexterity. I would have been in the floor flat back bump right on the boy. It'd have been like Kevin Nash hit me up with the power bomb. But I was making the comment that I thought like a better seating would have been like the first row as soon as it started going up into like the bowl, or I don't know how you would call that. But I think for viewing purposes. But other than that, man, I thought the seats were great. It was a little hot that day. I mean, when the sun went down, it got bearable, but buddy, before that, sweltering.
yeah, it did. It was supposed to rain earlier on in the week, and then that just kind of dissipated as the show grew closer, and then it just became extremely hot. But just kind of moving along to the next subject, was there anything or any match that pointed out to you guys? I'll start with Hogzwars. Was there a match at SummerSlam that you felt like was your favorite?
Oh God, yes, the first one. That during Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. I mean, not Sasha Banks. Lord, I'm getting worse like everybody else. Getting like the rest of these fools. Bianca
Jericho.
Belair. Hey, at least I admit it.
Yeah, you got it. You admit it. I got you.
Man, that was so good. Like every other match after that was like living up to that match. That's how good it was. So it's like that, and the fact that we were expecting a good match from them anyway, but the way that ended with the Spanish Fly and then the KLD, man, chef's kiss.
That's
You
it,
know.
man. And one thing I wanted to point out before I hand it back over is like Becky Lynch was getting crazy pop from the crowd. She was trying her best not to smile.
Mhm.
I could tell her like face was like trying to crack. So what happened at the end of the thing made me feel better about it. So we'll see.
Yeah. The ending, I mean, there's no surprise. I mean, it's been a week now, so everybody should know what happened
Yeah.
at the end of it, with, the embrace between Bianca and Becky and the face turn by Becky.
The man.
I was trying to figure out when she injured her arm. At what point was it that she injured her arm? Because they said it happened early on. And
I'd have to go back and watch it maybe on Peacock or whatnot. Shh, not affiliated. To see kind of like what happened with that, just like something I'll be talking about later. I didn't recognize had happened,
Well, I
but
know
now
earlier they
watching
had
it, I
with
did.
the rope and it looked kind of wonky,
May have
but
been
that's the
then.
only time I remember.
Yeah.
yeah, but to see that she, soldiered on through the entirety of that match, knowing that she was going through excruciating pain and everything. That just says something to Becky herself or whatnot, and that just kind of helped solidify that babyface turn. And then at the end of that, having the returns, which I heard that Dakota Kai's return was done at the 12th hour. That was very last minute. They weren't having her come back.
Interesting.
And what is the name of that group that they're going with? Y'all know the working name of it?
The
I missed it.
the Rebellion Smugglers. Is that what? I mean, that's what Bailey's got them pants like Han Solo. What is it? I don't know. I don't really know what they're calling them.
So if we were to steal something from Janet Jackson, Control. That's the
That's
name.
it. That's it. Yeah, you right.
That's a good
Control.
one.
I don't get it, man. Like the three of them are good wrestlers, but like I want to see how they fit together, man, because they're kind of like a hodgepodge crew of people. Which
Mhm.
maybe they'll be coming in further weeks. I hope they don't fall apart on that. But the new direction that creative's going in, I don't believe that'll be the case. I think they're going to really try to build up some stuff with it. So
Especially based off of what we reported from this previous week from Friday with the women's tag team titles coming back and doing a tournament. So I'm interested to see which direction they're going with that trio, whether it's going to be Bailey and Io or Io and Dakota. I'm assuming that it's going to be Dakota and Io, so they can call them uh, something to the extent of Dakota Sky or something like that, because they've
yeah,
changed his name. So we'll see. But OHB, what was your favorite match of the night?
man, yeah. I enjoyed it, all of it, but I'll be honest with you. The one that I thought was the most impressive that I really, really, really wanted to hate was Logan Paul and The Miz.
Yeah.
Because Logan Paul, man, he has a social media presence, and some of the little vignettes he's been doing for the WWE, he's all like, "Cheers, babyface," and I'm like, I know better, dude. You piece of
Right.
shit. But he's good at what he's doing, and I mean he can only get better as far as his in ring stuff goes. But it seems like the way that I kind of see is they're bringing him in for like limited dates, kind of like Brock Lesnar type thing. But I mean, the way that he put it all out there, there ain't no reason why a body needs to do spots like he did in that match, and he did them. So he did it for the benefit of the fans, and he put it out there. And I mean, he's got a pretty good frog splash. I'll give him that.
That he
Dude is
does.
so athletic.
That
It's
thing's
stupid.
awesome, yeah, dude. It's so. I mean, yeah, I kind of want to see where he goes from here, and I want to see if he can keep his nose clean as far as other aspects of his life as to not affect his WWE career.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he's
going
one.
to be
Yeah,
no, that's going to be interesting to see because part of the contract, because apparently he's in for the long haul for this. Like he's come to the realization that he's a sports entertainer and he wants to do the WWE thing for real. But they're going to allow him to still do his boxing matches and such. And like I know he's got one that he's announcing coming up, but I don't know who the opponent is yet. And will that keep him off of WWE TV if he's going all in on WWE? But like you said, OHB, and like Hogzwars says, he is, as much as you want to hate the guy, like because of some of the things that he's done on social media, it's undeniable that the man is a pure athlete. No matter if it's boxing, if it's pro wrestling, the man succeeds in it and he puts his all into that, which can't be said about a lot of the celebrities that they've had in the past jump in there and try to do wrestling. He's actually like, I think Bad Bunny set the tone because
yeah,
Bad Bunny and put, his whole effort into it to try to do some spots, even though he's not a professional wrestler. And then you have uber athletic folks like Logan Paul come in. So I'm like you, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. But Hogs Wars, what do you got to cap us off with this Logan Paul match?
Just realizing that as much as we were trying to boo him the entire match, and every time he wanted to be like, "No, I can't stand this guy," he would do something else that would just be amazing, and then finish with the frog splash. It's like those are the type of people that everybody really hates, but they really can't hate them fully because you realize it's not they being evil. It's just they trying to be a character and try to be popular, and that's what they're doing to be popular. So match wise, yeah, Miz kind of saved him a couple times because he was kind of going a little too far. Sometimes he had to pull him back a little bit,
Mhm.
and they don't tell him how many receipts he caught in the match because he was potato him to death. But
oh yeah, he was for sure.
man,
Oh,
there was so many times we heard every slap that mug gave him. It was stupid, but yeah, it was a great match. Surprisingly, more than anything else, very surprising. I thought it was gonna be another celebrity match where it's just like some random gonna happen. It'd be boring otherwise. So
Right.
What
Well,
about?
I mean, for me, oh, go ahead, OHB.
No, I was gonna say, what about you, Yellow Boy? You've been asked us what you liked about it. It's your turn.
So, indeed, I don't want to say any of the ones that you guys said because both of those matches I did enjoy. So I'll go with something that's just offhand and generic, a generic answer. While I did like the tag team match between the Usos and Street Profits, I will go with Brock and Roman in the main event, which brought something completely different to the table because I think the spot that everyone continuously talks about is number one, Brock Lesnar on the tractor. Now, granted, we didn't post that on, or we didn't post it on to the IG page, and sorry about that for not posting it. But watching Brock Lesnar, happy Brock Lesnar, ride down to the ring in a tractor and then use the tractor to pull the ring up to make Roman Reigns do a Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero type of
SummerSlam.
fall out of the ring. That's all I could think about was when he just puts the ice on the ground, and then the guy whoa, and he falls out
Right.
of the ring. But that ending, the ending spots where Roman just couldn't keep Brock down, and it took everything. It took both belts. It took chairs. It took piling things onto Brock, and
Mm-hmm.
it gave an appearance that this would be Brock's last match because of how he ended. Like they showed it on Raw finally, what we seen after everything was over and Brock crawling back into the ring and sitting up in the elevated corner and tipping the cap to the fans and everything. It seemed like that was his last hoorah. However, it looks like promotional material for day one on January 1st has come out, and Brock is on that. So maybe not. It looks like Brock is still going to be here. So that's my take on it. What do you guys think about it? OHB, what do you think about it?
Man, like that threw me for a loop towards the end of the match, but I did get a little contrived. Like, how many times you got to hit this dude for him to go down? So they still maintain the aura or the legendary mythos of Brock Lesnar being like this unstoppable beast that it literally took three dudes and the distraction of another guy in order to set him up for failure. But man, at the beginning of it, you were talking about him driving that backhoe or bulldozer or whatever in. Dude, he climbed up in the bucket of that boy and jumped off onto Roman Reigns at the beginning of the match. Which I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but he chucked that microphone at
Like,
Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns just slick caught it with his left hand and just winked at him like that.
he was
So
cool
you
as
got to
hell
see,
about
yeah,
it.
that's smooth, boy. So yeah, Roman Reigns, dude, full circle, man. Like he's definitely not the Roman Reigns of
Mhm.
5 years ago that everybody hated his guts because they were forcing him down the throat. All it took was a heel turn. That's all it took, and
Who knew?
let him run with it. Yeah,
Right. Who
exactly,
knew?
exactly. So yeah, man, I thought the match for what it was, it led to a lot. I feel bad for the people that were on the side of the ring that where it got canted up. You weren't seeing anything happening over on the other side. So that's another thing. If you're sitting down there, you might need to think about, hey, of course, nobody would have known what side he would have went in at. But
Right.
yeah, yeah, man.
Hogzwars, what you think?
I thought it was, as we always say, big men slapping man meat all over the goddamn place. So
Man
always
meats.
a good thing when big guys are tossing other big guys across the universe. I enjoy that thoroughly. I just was laughing so hard when he got on that goddamn tractor. That made my day because that joke. And what's funny is I don't think most people notice, but when he first puts the bucket down, you can actually see inside the bucket. It says where you get the darn tractor from. So I'm like, okay, I get it. He got a case tractor. You can get it from such and such on your Nashville. I'm like, okay, y'all trying to sneak that in.
Yeah.
I said the average person wouldn't even pay that no attention, but I said, all right, cool.
That's why you're the fine tooth comb man of the group, dude. You get down to the business tax.
Yo,
That and one thing we forgot to talk about earlier, but it was funny as heck. I was laughing so hard at the goddamn crowd when it got dark, and all of a sudden, all you heard was "We can't see, we can't see, we
Yeah,
can't see."
yeah. Oh,
Turn
because
them off,
the
turn them
lighting,
off.
yeah, was real
Oh
bright. I didn't
man,
even think about
because
that. Yeah, it did.
yeah, because the light was so bright. Once it finally got dark, you couldn't see a goddamn thing in certain spots. So I was like, man, if you were sitting in a certain spot, you were screwed.
it's like Shameless. You got that bright
Yeah,
light
you
like
know.
Shameless.
That's it.
But yeah, overall, it was a great match to end the show. You know, Roman took his usual 8 minutes to get to the goddamn ring. You know, trying to make everybody acknowledge him the whole freaking time. We get it, dude. Roman Reigns. We're not trying to analyze every muscle you have as you walk down there. But you know, it did the job. And then like he made Usos go away, so it made it seem like he was gonna take it all on his own. So
Acknowledge me.
it did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
All right. So I
Uh-oh.
we, before we move on, I just want to get just final thoughts from everybody for SummerSlam before we move on to something new that's happened this past week. So keep the momentum going with you, Hogzwars. Final thoughts from SummerSlam 2022.
It actually made me care about what was going to happen on Raw, which never happened. You know, Raw is a slog. We've been to Raw before as a group. You know, back when it was still non-pandemic, and we still was like that was long. So the fact that you actually cared, you actually seen the possibility of storylines, that was the way it should have ended. You know, each match, and even though yeah, they had all these random promos in between, but each promo was making you say, okay, hey, I'm gonna see such and such in a little while. What they gonna get into? It made you look forward to the next thing popping up.
OHB.
I mean, it was a show. It was awesome to be there. It was one of my type of bucket list things. I wanted to do a show like that, and I sat pretty much where I wanted to. Obviously, I'd like to have sat closer, but dude, I wasn't paying the ticket for those prices. And that one guy that was sitting at the end of the row, well, he said, "I paid blah for these tickets." I thought, really, bro? Like you paid
Right?
that
He said he
cheap
paid
for the same
$100.
tickets?
I'm still mad about that.
WWE couldn't even give me no drink voucher. Shame on you.
Shame, shame, shame.
Shame.
And I guess I'll round this out by saying, just like both of you guys, it was a bucket list to be able to go to a big four, for another big four for me, anyways, for WWE. Having that energy that kind of made me feel almost like Attitude Era-ish, because everyone was anticipating what's going to happen now that Vince is gone and Triple H is at the helms. What's going to happen? What are we going to get for this first SummerSlam Big Four from the new realm regime or whatever? Also, shout out to all those people we met throughout the entire weekend. At Iris, just making sure that I'm shouting them out. I know Righteous Jess, OHB. You remember some of the other ones that we had met during the weekend?
Yeah, Brian with of Marks and Men podcast. He also over at the Wiseacre, so that's kind of like why he's hanging out at Bearded Irish. They were doing a collaboration, joint venture with them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and yes, Bearded Iris, Wiseacre Brewery, they put on a great program over there at the brewery before SummerSlam. Had some vendors out there for food, great drinks. So if you're in the Nashville area and you want some good brews, in addition to Wiseacre being from Memphis, but go down there to the Bearded Iris, get you a couple of brews down there. But overarching, love the weekend. Was glad to be able to spend it. So kudos to WWE for putting on a good SummerSlam. So, but moving on. So, because like I said, this is a new format, you guys. So we're trying something different. Let us know in the comments how you like it. This is something totally different. We're pre-recording this. instead of doing a lot of live streams. Let us know how you like this. But we're going to move on to talk about a couple of things from each person that's happened throughout the week with wrestling. So I'm going to kick it over to Hogzwars and see what he's got for this week. What you get for this week?
One of the things I got this week was off Fightful Select. They were talking to Max Caster had an interview with All Hip Hop, and they were talking about he's a rapper and how all that's kind of transpired since he's been in AEW. And one of the cool things he was pointing out was how both Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes each had a different kind of influence on him. Like, Tony Khan was like, you're a rapper that's awesome, just do the best you can, get out there and just, have a good time, be popular. This is what you're here for. And then he would go out there and do a few of them. Then he said Cody came to one day and said the main thing is you need to be edgy. Not just go out there and, show you can rap, so, bring something to the table. And I thought that was really cool because he was just saying how that little advice was like major for him when he first got to rapping in front of, the main AEW scene, because that's what made them popular is, him taking folks in some of the most outrageous ways. So I thought that was really cool. Yellaboi.
Yeah, so one thing to know is that 5 years ago, the Acclaim was not a thing. This is the brainchild of Tony Khan putting them two together, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens putting them together. And then I also thought it was pretty neat to see that John Cena, of all people, posted a pic on his social media of Max Caster. Of course, no caption. Obviously, he doesn't do his own social medias, but it was cool to see that on his social media he had someone from that Forbidden Door on the other side there from WWE, and he posting about it because the parallels have been made to Max Caster and John Cena, the early age, the ruthless aggression John Cena. So that was cool to see. But I'll kick it over to OHB to round this one out.
All right, man. So I got a couple things, and two of them is wrestling related, and one of them is not. But let's just see how it is. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the Wrestling Observer talked about Jamie Hayter. She broke her nose wrestling against Thunder Rosa at Battle of the Belts. So when she went for her brainbuster move and came down, Thunder Rosa's knee came down on her face as well. She didn't bleed throughout the match, but people said you could see noticeably that her nose was kind of off canted. So it was a nose break. So there's that. Womp womp. But
Did they say how long she may be out?
it didn't say. It just gave speculation that nose breaks are a fairly common thing. So we may see her on there with kind of like a Cody Rhodes or a Christopher Nowinski like nose face guard type thing like Brandon Cutler had.
Yes.
So
Still
yeah, and then the other thing was PW Insider reported that Dana Warrior is not going to be with WWE's creative any longer. She kind of stepped down from that role anyway during Vince McMahon's tenure, and she was kind of doing some stuff remotely from home. But they have put her in with the team that does like community outreach stuff, which is kind of like what she was doing anyway with the Warrior honor. I can't remember what it's called, but that thing. But she's going to be doing more of the community outreach and the public relations side of things for that kind of stuff. So we're going to see that. To be honest, I didn't know she was even part of creative. I don't know what she was, incorporating or what she was contributing to it, because some of the stuff's like but maybe she was just there to kind of be a fall person. That would be horrible, wouldn't it? But
yeah, I would assume she was putting some input in for the women's storylines and such like that. And I mean, I think she was already kind of working alongside with Titus O'Neil doing the community outreach type stuff. So hey, it's a way to keep good old Ultimate Warrior alive in the WWE without having him there, as deplorable as he may be. What?
but, the last thing I wanted to talk about was related to the beer industry. So you guys may or may not know is that there's a huge shortage in the United States of carbon dioxide, which if you know what that is, good on you. But if you don't, carbon dioxide is what they use to carbonate beer, and also help push, or CO2 rather, to push the beer through the kegs and things like that out of the tap. So because they're not able to get that, a lot of places have had to shut down production for like a week or two at a time. They're having to increase beer prices because they're seeing the increase on the side of how much it's costing them to get that gas. And I did reach out to Panther Creek and asked if they noticed a change or a rise in that. They did tell me that they noticed a huge rise in the prices in the 2 years' time that they've been there, but that they did accommodate. They kind of saw a shortage coming. They accommodated by having a bigger tank to hold that stuff, but they haven't seen a shortage per se. So maybe it's just a Northwest thing at this point in time, but it's going to get here eventually if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
So it was CO2. So that's what we were at. Not I guess it's carbon dioxide. I don't know. My brain's not
And
working very good
the
today.
thing is, they use that too with like all your little Coke dispensers and all the little
Exactly.
Coke dispensers too. So like any kind of place that has a drink thing, from your local restaurant to your McDonald's, is going to be affected by that.
So but the fact that they have to have that, because in a normal brewing process, so like when I brew beers, I do what's bottle conditioning. That lets the yeast eat whatever's left in there. You put like a little sugar in your bottle, then you cap it. The yeast will eat whatever, and the byproduct is CO2, which turns into carbonation in the beer. So when you open it, the beer's carbonated. But what they do on a major brewing scale is they do what's called forced carbonation, and they fill the tanks up. Then they just force pounds of CO2 in on top of it until it becomes carbonated in solution. And then that's what you get when you go to a brewery or you buy a beer from the store if it's not bottle conditioned. So, anywho, that's all I had on
Science with OHB,
I know,
Professor
right?
B,
that.
Professor OHB. So I guess lastly, from talking about the hindrance of CO2 to an uptick in, I'm trying to segue this, y'all. I'm trying to make it work, whatever. Karrion Kross made it back to WWE. Let's go. So just kind of giving a little bit, if you hadn't watched it on Friday on SmackDown, we seen the ending angle as Roman Reigns was cutting the promo and Drew McIntyre comes out to kind of confront him. Then music plays and kind of everybody was kind of unsure what was going on. And to me, I couldn't tell it was Scarlett at the entrance ramp because she had her back turned, but Scarlett was at the entrance ramp and Drew McIntyre was looking at her and trying to figure out what was going on and got bum rushed by a returning Karrion Kross, which no one could figure out it was Karrion Kross because he grew his hair out because no one thought he could grow his hair out. He said, but he was known and has been reported to say that he shaved his head only because it fit the persona that he was trying to play on TV. It's not that he's bald, it's just that he shaved his head, so he grew his hair back out. Anyway, so give you the backstory. So Fightful.com had reported that WWE had been wanting to bring him back for quite some time. And there was a specific reason why he has immediately been inserted into the WWE or the UWU title picture. Fightful.com had gone on to say that they were informed that the USA Network wanted a top title featured on WWE Raw more, because obviously with Roman Reigns as both champions, he's only featured on SmackDown mostly and doesn't appear on Raw, and Raw doesn't have a world champion. So the idea was that Cross would be inserted into the Reigns and McIntyre feud for one of the titles instead of both. So there was an additional pitch that there would be an interim title, but it's not positive if WWE was serious about that. And with AEW doing an interim, I don't think that there's a chance that they would do that. I think they would just end up having one of the championships pulled away from Roman Reigns. So there's that. So the second part of the news that I'm going to bring up is on MJF. And with MJF, he hadn't been seen since the June 1st post Double or Nothing promo. And with Fightful.com, again, their sources reported that MJF did stay in Los Angeles after the airing of that Dynamite, where he made a scathing promo against Tony Khan, calling him an effing mark. But while he was in Los Angeles, he had conducted several on-screen, non-wrestling related meetings. Additionally, there was word through Fightful.com that MJF was in New Jersey filming with the cast of True TV's Impractical Jokers. Now, it wasn't confirmed that he actually was doing something for the show. He might have been doing something with the cast members, so it's yet to be seen if he's actually did something for the show. Also, backstage, none of the wrestlers have overheard Tony Khan speaking about MJF since his promo, and none of the wrestlers in the back have heard from him or spoken to him, which is kind of odd. So some believe that this may be MJF on his way out to greener pastures to WWE, while some others think that this is just an elaborate work being done for TV's sake. So it's going to be interesting to see within the next couple of months if this is actually a shoot or a work, because it was very exquisitely done on television, you know, him doing that promo. And I wouldn't believe that he would throw that promo out the way he did if it wasn't approved by someone. So there's yet more to see with MJF. So that's all I have on that.
Dig it.
So
whatever, man. You got flown into SummerSlam anyway, so I don't know if I believe anything you got to tell me. It's the worst.
Right, I'm going to helicopter down into the stadium. Everybody ain't able.
One of the homes that I have is in the Nashville, Franklin area, so I just decided to go ahead and pull up while I was there.
Yeah, I guess so. And that helicopter you got flying up there has got the black and blue all over it. I said, I already know who that is. I don't even need to. Everybody look it up. Oh, who is that? And then you come rappelling down. Whatever, dude.
Well, I offered, and y'all said that y'all didn't want to ride.
Yeah, man, because I ain't pretentious like that, dude. I'm from the holler, man. If they see me out of the helicopter, that tarnishes my brand.
Well,
and I'm not trying to come out there looking like G.I. Joe out of goddamn helicopter, bro. This ain't the way.
No one's half the battle.
G.I. Joe, go, let's get it.
But Hogzwars, tell the people where to find you.
Well, I'm gonna use y'all phrase today, and you can find me on Wampless anytime you want to.
Darn good sausage.
Right, the brand that everybody wants. Yeah.
Look naked on your mama's couch.
With some flip flops and some blue
OHB, where can the people find you, man?
I'm on the socials at Over Here Boy, and that's on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Steam, anywhere. It's Over Here Boy. And if you see anybody else named Over Here Boy, they're Over There Boy, because I'm the only Over Here Boy.
And that includes OnlyFans.
Right.
And Grinder.
Awesome. And y'all can find me at Twitter at Badass Yellaboi, and that's BADAZZ_YELLABOI. You can catch the channel on Instagram at bros_brews_and_botches. You can find us on, well, you're already on YouTube, so you know we're here, but you can also find us on TikTok at Bros, Brews, and Botches, all one word. And you can find us on Twitch. Once a month, usually, we try to do something on Twitch, but that's Bros, Brews, and Botches as well on Twitch. And if you don't know, look in the description below. We have a link tree so that you know that where to go to find us. Again, you guys, this is something brand new. We're trying a new format. Let us know how you like it. If you don't, we'll try something different. If you don't like it, we got 2 words for you. Thank you. Take that. But this is where we're going to end it, you guys. We appreciate y'all. Please make sure, again, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And for Hogzwars, for OHB, Over Here Boy, I'm Yellaboi, and this has been The Hangover, working title. And we'll see you guys next time.
People that I know, they ain't no longer about. My name came up a lot, it sounds. More when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. I didn't keep up with what it sounds. More when I was not around.